Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Interesting stuff, right? Very, very interesting stuff. Because it is a very big gap. Most gaps get filled. Like if you look, there's a bit of a gap back here, right? But this gap back here, it closed over here. So it doesn't mean the market's likely to go for a run first and then come back and close it later on. But all gaps get filled, right? We had a bit of a gap. Look at this gap here. And then look what happened. Came up, went sideways for a while, and then closed the gap right here. So we can see that that's what we actually have right through there. Market gaps up, so probably like a run. It may continue up from here and then come back down later. Maybe 6 months, maybe a year later, who knows? And then eventually close that gap. But yes, I do believe the gap's going to be closed. But when? That's actually the difficult question to ask. Can you review BA, and NVDA? Sure. So let's have a look at BA first. All right. So, Boeing. This is one stock I'm actually personally looking to short. Long term, this is long term. I haven't got my shorting opportunity yet, but long term, I'm looking to short it. But again, I'm not short yet. I'm not getting short yet. I need to see a close. But right now, we can see Boeing has just been very, 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 very lackluster between these levels through here. Very lackluster. So we can see we have this sideways movement through here, right? Very, 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 very strong sideways movement through here. And then suddenly we see a breakdown. Right? So we can see this level through. So depending on where the break happens, if we do get a very strong break to the upside, then we're probably likely to race back up towards the highs. But if we get a very strong break to the downside, then that's going to be pretty scary, because if I look at my weekly chart once again, right, look at this weekly chart through here. This is just, actually let's go to the monthly chart here for a minute. Right, so we can see that we're at sort of a level of where the market's not really doing much through here. If I go back to that weekly chart here, if we start to get a close below this level through here, then we have a very high probability of eventually heading back down towards 150. Now, the reason why I say eventually with that is because it's going to take time for that to happen, right? It may take 12 months, it may take 6 months, we don't know. But once we start to get back below, say 300, then it's on its way down to 150, I believe, with Boeing. Boeing's one of those stocks. Or once again, we could just break up and go from there. So for me personally, I'm looking to have a long-term short on this one, but I need for it to get below at least 320, start to get a nice below there on the weekly perspective, and have a nice solid close below there. Once that happens, that's going to give me, I'm looking to take a shorting opportunity down through there, but not right now, because it's not giving me any indication to get into it, because this thing could just easily run back to the high side. BABA. Let's have a look at Barber. All right, so looking at Barber here, if we see on a very short-term basis, right, Barber is actually really not much going on, and then we had a little bit of a pop, and then we had this little bit of a pop back to the high side. We can see that we had this little break here, a little break above with a bit of volume there, and then we've now started to move up. Looks like Barber is on its way up to 205, and probably likely to head back up there and find a lot of resistance. Now, why would it find a lot of resistance there? If we go to the weekly chart and we squeeze up, you'll be able to see once again that that's where the market is. That's where the overall levels of support or resistance through here. That's where the market has had a lot of problems through there. So that's where I see happening with Barber. Barber's actually looking quite strong. Looking very, very nice, actually. Let me bring this chart up here. Right. Yeah, looking very, very nice. A little bit like nice little pullback, and then a nice little break up and out. And then away it goes. So, yeah. Great looking stock. But on a short-term basis, probably racing up to 205, and then probably having a little bit of a pullback from there. And then also NVDA. 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 Alrighty, guys. So short-term basis, very, very, very nice upward move. But you notice here with NVDA, right? It just slowly takes its time. So one thing you want to do when you're looking to get into a stock is look at the characteristic of it. You see here, right, the last sort of 3 months or the last sort of 6 months, you can see how this thing takes its time, right? So if you look to get into a stock, just make sure, okay, what can I expect here? I can expect this thing to take its time. So let's actually go to this weekly chart now, because I'm just trying to get a much larger perspective on why things are happening. So on why things are happening. Once again, guys, if you're just looking to get started, or you're looking to get a really good foot in these markets, some really good trading strategies, or really good chart reading strategies, then make sure you go to johnsflashsale.com to grab that $7 trading course. That's going to really give you a good head start, some really good powerful chart reading strategies, mindset, and trading systems. Or if you'd like to learn my #1 trading system, how I scan the markets and how I trade the markets with options and so on and so forth, and all my details to my trading system, then just go to johnslivetraining.com. I'm running a training today. You'll be able to see all the details through there. So look at this through here, guys. It's really interesting that I'm seeing this through here. Really interesting. So we see this market coming back down. There's not really much. It's interesting, isn't it? And what I'm looking at here now is that we've had this very big move down, and now we're getting a slight move up. So if I go from the high to low, I'm going to use the Fibonacci level now. You can see where it's actually finding a lot of resistance through here. A lot of resistance. So a very sharp move down. We've had a lot of problems through here, coming back down, and then a move up. And then that's what you can see through there, right? So then we start to see this level. If this level starts to break, then we can start to see that that's what's going on through there. So indeed, guys, that's what there's really no clear indication of any long-term support levels. If I bring up, so there's probably the reason why it's having a lot of problems, because we have a lot of resistance through there, and we have a lot of resistance up through here as well too. So on a short-term basis, we're probably, so on a short-term basis, we're probably likely to start to see a bit of a pullback out of this on Nvidia. But once again, a pullback would probably start with something that's going to break this level through here. So once we start to break, well, if we hold in, we start to break this trend line coming up, where it's been a very long-term support level, then we're probably likely to start to see a pullback, probably back down towards this 90 level from there. So that's what I'm saying with Nvidia. Nvidia is actually a bit more of a tougher one, because there's no real clear direction there. But for short term, guys, this thing could probably continue up from here, but it's a very hard one. There's nothing there clear for me there. Ticker Baidu, BIDU. Alrighty. BIDU. I'm liking this one. Now, why am I liking this one? If I'm looking at the last sort of couple of months here, guys, there actually may be a trade. This is actually right now what I'm looking at this here. This is actually probably a bit of a setup for me to get into a trade. Now, I haven't got this here is probably this here is a very nice setup. If I can get a very nice bullish up bar like this here, and a very nice volume spike from here to here, something like that. Right? If I get that, a very nice volume spike, that's probably going to be a very nice trade for me personally, right? A trade. So I like this setup. All I need now is my entry candle, and I like that. So on a short-term basis, we can see that we've actually had a bit of a low point through here. We've had a bit of a gap up, and now we've had a bit of a pullback. Now we've got all these small bars through here, and we've got a very nice upward trending moving average. So this 20 moving average is telling you that momentum now is definitely starting to point in that direction. We're definitely getting a nice momentum. The reason why that's important, right, is because when the moving averages, it's like momentum, right? That the moving averages tells you where is momentum at that time. You see how the moving average was flat through here, right? Really not much going on, not direction. That means there was no momentum. So trying to get into a trade at that time it'd be very, 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 very difficult to get through there, right? Because, okay, there's really nothing behind this. But look what's happened now, right? We broke out, we come back down. Now the moving average is really, really starting to point up through here. So I'm really liking this, guys. Right? I am really, really, really liking the fact that we're getting a very nice sideways phase through here from there. So if I go back to my weekly chart now, which may be the killer, yeah. Let's have a look at this here. So if we look at a bit of a downward trend, look at that through there, right? Isn't that interesting? So we're looking at a long-term perspective now. We can also see that we have a long-term trend line coming down through here. If I go back to my daily chart now, look at this here, guys. That long-term trend line that I just drew on that weekly chart. Look what's happening, right? It came right back down to that level through there and found support. Very, very nice. Very nice. So we're starting to break out of this sideways range and starting a new bull market. And if I look at a weekly chart, once again, and I'm looking for key levels of this probably this level up through here. Probably at least a minimum I would start to see there, but probably may just above it. This whole area through here is probably likely to be resistance. So if I did get some sort of a trade, we're probably likely to start to see this thing moving up towards 140 and 145. Now, if I got a trade, guys, I wouldn't hold on for that long. I don't hold on for, I don't say, well, I think it's going to get to 145. I don't, right? Way that I trade is that if I get a nice little entry, let's do this. Let's just do this here. Let me bring up the good old Snagit tool here again. If I get an entry, let's just say, for example, I get a nice little up bar through here and I get a nice little entry bar, then what I'm looking to do, right, if I get, say, 2 to 5 days, right, you know, bulls and bears make money and pigs get slaughtered. I don't know whether it's definitely going to get to 145. So if I get into this and then suddenly I start to see something like that 2 to 5 days later and this thing's taken off, then my option is probably likely to be anywhere between 80, 100%, maybe more. Thank you very much for a beautiful profit for a short-term trade. I'm out. I'm not waiting for it to get up to here because I don't know if it's definitely going to get up to there. I take my profits because when you're trading options, guys, and this is the reason why I love trading options is because like this here, right? You can do really, really, really well. Like if I bring up my WBA trade that I did last week, right? I entered here and then I exit on this day right here. It was actually right at this level here, right at this trend line. I exited right there. From there to there, my option gave me 195% return. So as you can see, right, that's the reason why I love trading options. Now I have a very high probability trading setup, and then I have the scanning technology, and then I use options around that. It's amazing. Again, guys, join my training today at johnslivetraining.com, and I'll share all that with you. All right, it goes for about 90 minutes. I'll walk you through all the details of my trading system so you can start to apply it today. But that's the reason why I love trading options, guys. That's the reason why I absolutely love trading options. Now again, you need to get the direction right. You need to get the direction right. So the options are not the secret sauce, but if you know how to get the direction right more times than not, the options can just really give you a massive leverage through there. If you know what you're doing as well too. So again, I'll teach you all about the options on that training as well too, guys, at johnslivetraining.com. Or once again, guys, if you're just looking to get started, just looking to get some really good trading, some chart reading strategies, maybe some other trading systems and stuff like that, then just join my $7 trading course. That's what I've designed it for, just to really get you on the right foot, a really good chart reading strategies and more to help you move forward there. But I'm really looking forward to seeing you on my live training today at johnslivetraining.com. If I go through to, let's go through to, so if I go back to Baidu here for a minute, if I go back to my Baidu, then yeah, so that's what I'm seeing there with Baidu. Baidu actually looks really good. So what I'm going to do right now is, thank you very much. I'm going to put this on my watch list. I'm going to keep that on my watch list. So I have a watch list of stocks over here that I keep an eye on. So all this here, I've actually had 15 right now that I keep an eye on, just waiting for a nice, good trading setup. Nice, good trading setup, or all good for this. In this case, I'm looking for a nice little up bar with volume. If I get that, high probability with I'm gonna get a move from I'm gonna get a 2 to 5 day move. What that means is sometimes I get into the trade and it doesn't do nothing for 1 or 2 days, and then suddenly it moves. Or I get in, right, and then 2 or 3 days later it moves. That's why, or sometimes I get into it and the very next day has a very large up bar, and I'm like, thank you very much, I'm done with that. That's like with if I look at this one here, right? Look at this one here. This one here was a beautiful, beautiful one. This HLT, right? Nice little breakout bar. Look at this one. Boom, 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 right? This one here, two days later, I'm just saying, thank you very much. All right? I don't know where it's going to stop. Bulls and bears make money. Bam, 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 straight up. Thank you very much. Breakout bar, volume, I'm in, bam, 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 all the way up, right? So once again, guys, if you start to go back and look at your options, I'll just share this with you, right? This from here to here doesn't look like much, but what you want to do, right? What you want to do is when you're trading options, you want to get in as it's moving. You don't want to wait for it to pause, right? So what I mean by that is this, is as you can see, right, if you get into here and the market starts to go up and then up, volatility is picking up. You want to get in here. Well, you want to be getting out here as the market's rising, right? Now you never know where the high is, but as the market's rising, volatility is picking up. So if you look at the options here for a minute, right, and I'll just share this with you, you'll see that these are the different options here. So call option is when the market goes up, put option is when the market goes down. But this is just a very, 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 again, very, very, very simple setup, right? And then you look at this one here. We had this one here is 105. So the first just below that was 100. So as you can see from there to there. So from there to there, as you can see, an 85% return. Beautiful profit for being in it for 2 days. And again, guys, my scanner finds these trades for me, right? Again, so on that live trading, on that johnslivetrading.com, you'll be able to see it. But that's the whole thing there, right? Is that you're going through this process and you're finding these trades. Now, not every trade I get into makes money. No, I had a few losses last week as well too. But that's okay, because my losses are smaller, my profits are bigger, and away I go. So it's really, 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 really awesome here, guys, to start to see that. But that's the one thing with options you want to do there, right? Like 85% return, guys, like in 2 days. And all I do is I do an hour worth of analysis. I'm getting in, I look for the last hour. I'm just looking to get into a trade in the last hour. And then I'm holding it anywhere between 2 and 5 days. Really, really, really simple and really, really amazing. Just absolutely powerful there. Most trades make a profit just like this here. And some trades don't. That's just the way it is. But when you can get like an 85% profit in this one, but if I did have a loss, the loss would probably be 30%. So when you start to look at, even if I was 50-50 right, by looking at trades like this, the loss, if there was a loss, the loss would probably be 30% on my trade. The profit was 85%. I didn't get the exact high, but the profit was 85%. Thank you very much. Now, 85%, guys, doesn't sound like, or actually it doesn't. It actually is a very nice profit there, right? Imagine you'd be able to be confident now to place 10 grand per trade. You just made $8,500 in 2 days, and all you did was literally an hour per day worth of trading. So that's the reason why I love my trading system and my scanning technology, the way I scan these trades, and then I can use options over it. Nothing better out there, guys. Nothing better. So, and that's the reason why I share all that with you again at johnslivetrading.com. Go join my training today there, guys. You'll be able to see all the details. Absolutely amazing, guys. So let's actually have a look at this here. Very good, thanks. But are we at the top? Probably not yet. Probably not yet. On the Dow Jones, we'll be able to start to see, right? We'll start to see what's going on through here. Absolutely incredible. So, hi from Southwest England. How you doing? Can we look at palladium? PPLT, sure. PPLT. Alrighty, so what are we going to do firstly? We're going to look at the very long-term chart. So let's bring up that monthly chart. Let's see what we can see through here. Oh, geez. Very big downward movement, isn't it? Very big downward trend that's going on right now. So you can see the reason why we're definitely... look at that. Yeah, look at that. So very big downward movement through here. That's the reason why, again, look, why is it having problems here? Once again, look at that long-term chart. Go back to the daily chart. Look at this here, right? Isn't that just incredible? It ran right up and stopped right there. Why did it stop there? Well, if you start to look at your long-term charts, you'll be able to start to see, oh, look, we had a what? We had a connection through there. We had a level through here. So as this thing started to pick up, like, oh, it stopped there. If you're trading this and you're only looking at the last sort of 3 months, let's go to the 3-month view. The last sort of 3 months, and then suddenly you just saw this thing run up, and then suddenly it stopped there, and you're like, oh, the market's manipulated, the ba. It's like, no, these long-term levels come into play, right? So if I bring up this chart here, remember what I said before? In a downward market, we're looking at the long-term resistance levels because they come into play. In an upward market, we're looking at the support levels because there we go. They do start to come into play. So there we go through there, and we can see this sideways movement through there. So let's go back to this weekly chart here for a minute. So right now on this one here, we're definitely not getting a lot of strength through here. And what I mean by that is that we can see how this whole sort of 95, probably even back up towards that whole level through there is really where it's stuck. So we're in a very big downward trend right now, not really breaking up or out. For this thing to start to completely change the trend long term, then we would definitely need to start to see this breaking of 100 level there. Because once we start to break that, that's when we're probably likely to start to see a changing of the trend there. But yeah, definitely not long term, guys. Short term, we're in this sort of triangle pattern right now from the short term basis. So that's what we're seeing through there. Very, very, very short term on there. And that's what we're condensing down through there. So you can see all that through there. So, but even if we did get a break up, we know this 90 level is probably going to form a bit of resistance through there. So we go back to that monthly chart again, and you can see what's happening through here. For this thing to start to see a big bull market again out of this, you'd probably want to start to see this thing at least get back above 100. And then you'll know this is some form of a bottom through here. And then that's where we're probably likely to start to see there. But this still could actually continue down from here because we've done that all the time through there. So I hope that makes sense through there. So once again, guys, if you like this sort of analysis, you like to learn more about the chart reading stuff as well too, mindset and all that sort of stuff, then just go to johnsflashsale.com, grab that trading course for $7, and you'll be able to start to see a lot more details about that and how it helps you out. Or if you'd like to see my trading strategy and do that sort of stuff, then join me on my next training at johnslifetraining.com. Hey Nathan, how you doing? Well, man. Yes, Platinum. No, Palladium. Platinum is interesting from another point of view. Palladium is 100% higher. Large discount from gold. Yeah, you may be looking at the gold ratio, but you never want to put a position just based on that, because if you do, then you're sort of hoping that ratio is going to close its gap, so to speak. But you just want to basically focus on that particular chart itself, like this chart here, and this chart here simply tells me that once we start to break above this level through here, that's when we're probably likely to start to see a trend. But you can see how if you're looking for a short-term trade, right? Look at my moving average. See how it's this 20 moving average is very, very, very flat. So on a short-term basis, right? On a short-term basis, we can see that that's what's happening through there, right? On a short-term basis, very, 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 very sideways. So there's no momentum. But if I look at something like a Baidu, look what's happening. Look at the moving average, right? So look at the moving average. It tells you where the momentum is at that time. Or if you look at one of my trades, right, you can see this movement through here, right? You see the short term, we've jumped up, we've had nice movement sideways, a nice sort of breakout bar, moving average is going up, bingo, bango, whambo. How about HEPA? HEPA. I'm having a lot of fun here today, guys, I'll tell you that. HEPA, wow, look at this. Let's have a look at that long-term chart. Oh, what is this? Oh, wow. Are you serious? This was a $3,000 stock? That's nuts. That's Warren Buffett type of prices. That's crazy. What I think about this is that I definitely wouldn't want to be long-term buying this right now until we start to see this thing completely turn around, because this thing could just be a short-term pop before it goes to zero. We've continued being this long-term trend has just been down for quite some time there. So, yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to be getting involved with this one. I'd stay away from this one. And as you can see, very, 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 let's see how it's not very smooth either. What I mean by that is, like, you see all these look at these candles here, right? Very, very, very ugly. It's not smooth at all. Tony. Oh, that's funny. Alrighty, guys. I'm having a lot of fun here. John, thank you for answering my question. Much obliged. No problem. I hope that helped you out. If you wasn't trading options but equities, would you stay in the winning trade longer? Nathan, there's two different types of trades that I do. A short-term trade, 2 to 5 days. Or I have what I call a long-term trade. It's the exact same setup, but slightly different to where I would use, say, a moving average as an exit. So I give you an example here, right? So if you look at something like HLT, this one here was a short-term trade, right? I'm not going to get to the details why, but it was just a short-term trade for me, and then I was in and out within 2 to 5 days. In, out, that's sort of me generating an income from that. Some of my trades are losing trades, that's okay. But most of my trades are winning. Most of my trades are profitable trades. That's the way it goes. But if I look at something like BTU, right? This was a trade that I got into, but it wasn't a 2 to 5 day trade. Again, I'll go into a bit more. If you go to that johnslivetraining.com, on that webcast, you'll be able to see all the details to that. But I use a 9 moving average as an exit for this one. So as in this case, it was an enter here, right? An enter here, and then I'll use a 9. I will stay in trades longer on certain trades, but I'm always using something to keep me in, but tell me when things are starting to slow down. So it was in here, and then see how it closed just above it through here. That's where you exit in there, out there. That's when it's telling you things are starting to slow down. So by looking at that, right, and by looking at that, I do use the moving average on some trades, not all trades, right? Some trades it's just like in, out fast. But then I have other trades, again, it's a very, very, very similar setup, but I have other trades where I use the 9 moving average to keep me in longer, which allows me to generate even more profit. So, but I don't like to stay in the market too long, which means I love the trades. I love the trades where I'm in and out really, really quickly, right? Like, for example, WBA, this one here. I entered here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days later. Remember I said before, 2 to 5 days. 5 days later, I exited, beautiful profit. That's it, me done. This thing's probably going to pause here and probably continue running up to the 65 level, but I don't care. That's bulls and bears make money and pigs get slaughtered. I'm looking to get into a trade. Within 2 to 5 days, most of my trades run up for a profit. Could be a 50% profit. Could be an 85% profit. In this case, it was 195% profit. And then I'm looking to repeat. Some trades are losers. Most trades are profits. My average loss would be around about, say, 30%. sometimes even 40% on that position, depending on the option. And then the profits can range 50%, 80%, you know, and then a lot of the times I can always get like that 100, 150% and more, just like this trade here. So I hope that makes sense through there. So it's the same thing, Nathan. It's the same thing. Whether I'm trading options or trading Forex or trading equities, it's the exact same thing. It's because the option doesn't make me money. It's me be able to get the direction right. So it's whether I was trading options or just the actual equity itself. Bidey was on your hot list too. Fantastic. Hello, John and friends from Melbourne, Australia. Hey, thanks for the technical analysis. Hey, champion. Great to see another Aussie in the room. That is fantastic. So once again, guys, if you'd like to, if you like this sort of analysis and you want to really get started in the market, you want to learn some more good, say, trading systems and some foundations and stuff like that, and some mindset, some good chart reading strategies, then go to johnsflashsale.com to grab that $7 trading course. Or if you'd like to learn my #1 trading strategy, how I trade every single day, see how I scan the markets, how I trade options, and all the details to it all, then join my training today at johnslivetraining.com. You'll be able to see all the details to it so you can start to apply things right now, today, to help you move forward. PPLT has slippage. Decay Platinum. Broker that declining resistance. PPLT. PPLT. Yeah. Well, it definitely would have slippage. So, only because of what we're seeing through here, right? Only because of what we're seeing through here. So, because it gaps a lot. So, that's the thing you want to be careful of trading something like this. So, for me personally, guys, when I'm seeing something like this, let me bring up this chart here. If I look at a chart and I see there's lots of gaps all over the place, I stay away from that so much. Just stay away from it. Because you don't want to be getting involved with something like that, guys. It's too much risk for me. I'm looking to decrease my risk every time I get into a trade. So that's via my risk management. And so how much money I'm putting on per trade, how much risk is on my account, and via my trade management, and then also trade selection as well. And one of those trade selections is don't get into the stocks that are gapping around. I love you too, Tony. HEPA popped because they had good news with one of their major drugs about 10 days ago. Okay, cool. Yeah, that may be the case, but it may be popping right now. But I definitely, for long term, you want to start to see this thing turn around. You know what I mean? Because we've been going down for quite some time. So it's a very, 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 very risky position to be getting into, I would say. I wouldn't touch it. I would not touch it. Let's go and have a look at. Let's just watch as I'm answering this question. This is the gold 1 minute chart. We have silver. Silver as well too. Penny stocks reduce share count to make it appear that it was once 3,000. Okay, cool. Thanks, John. No problem, man. No problem. I wouldn't touch it either. Yeah, not me either. Not me either. So, alrighty, guys. Well, that's it for me. Once again, guys, if you'd like to get a head start in these markets, you like what I teach you here today, you'd like to learn some good chart reading strategies, maybe a few trading systems just to get you started, mindset stuff, then go to johnsflashsale.com, grab that trading course for $7 to get you started. Or if you'd like to learn my #1 trading strategy, how I trade the market every day, see how I scan the markets to find these trades, and then how I trade options within the process, then join me on my next training today, guys, at johnslivetraining.com. I'm so excited to see you there today, and I'm so excited about that. Thank you so much today, guys. I really enjoy these live streams, guys. I have so much fun with it, and I'm really excited for this week. So, all right, guys, that's it for me today. Have an amazing week, and I'll probably see you tomorrow with your next live stream. See you guys. Hey traders, I'm running a flash sale. It's a $7 flash sale to my brand new Go to the Markets by the Bullish trading course. If you go to johnsflashsale.com, you can get access to the $7 massive sale that I'm doing right now for a short time. So go to johnsflashsale.com and I'll see you over there.